we wasn't allowed to read back in them days. We wasn't supposed to learn how to read. My dad didn't whoop you because you learned how to read, because we weren't supposed to learn how to read back in the days. But they had some, they finally gave, I think when I was in the second or third grade, they finally gave us some books, and some of them had the backs tore off of them, half pages, half of books. But we finally learned how to. Our school teacher was a lady come out of Glasgow named Maud Allen, but she wasn't the Allen. She wasn't the Allen. She had a different name.
Dibble.
Huh?
She was a Dibble.
Yeah, Dibble. That's right, Miss Maud Dibble. And that was our first school teacher. And then we had another teacher called Swansea Allen. Swansea. That's another lady. That was Sonobi. Her name was Sonobi Allen. Man, that was a long time ago. You talking about a long time ago. They're supposed to give you 40 acres of land and a mule. But what they did is they gave the 40 acres, but they didn't get a mule. So we had to clear all the wood. That's what I was telling you about. We were born in the woods. We wasn't nothing in the. We lived on the land. That's where we were born and lived on land. And that's what made it interesting when we got to school. That's what we went to school for, to learn how to raise a garden and help feed the family. When we raised the garden, we worked hard in them gardens, and then we had to milk 12 or 13 cows every morning before we went to school. You had to do that 7 days a week. Take all the fun out of life. It did. See, we milked them cows. You had to leave out of church on Sunday evening and go milk them cows, boy. You think there's a lot of hate? There's a lot of hate went on back in the days, but we made it through it. All them old people went to church. You went to church on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, and you didn't get out till about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And we come home, milk them cows and things, and go back to church again. Didn't have no electricity. Wasn't no such thing as electricity. What we used was soda pop bottles like these, and you wrapped a piece of wire around the top of it and hooked it on a limb. That's what we did. You put a rag in it, and fill it up full of coal oil, and put a piece of wire around it and hang it up on a limb, and you light it. That's what we use for electricity. And don't you think and it lit up, man? It lit up. You could go anywhere with them, because they had lights everywhere. You had lights everywhere. The Mennonites still do it. The Mennonites today still do that. Snow used to get 4 or 5 feet deep, and you could drive a team of horses across the rivers, the Sheridans, and everywhere. So and we wasn't sickly kids. Didn't have we had some shoes, but didn't have no bottoms in them. We had pasteboard in the bottom of them. But we didn't catch no colds or nothing. I don't know how in the world but we wouldn't. I told you, how mom, dad, and them know if you were sick, you had to either take some goose oil or some skunk grease. And if you cut your leg or cut your arm or something, how to heal it, boy, if you could stand the pain. Usually take some soot out of a stovepipe and take a rag and wipe it on it and put it on there. But once you wipe it and stuff on there, didn't no infection set up on it. You went right on playing. You kept on. It's hard for people to know about that, but that's how they kept you from being sick in the wintertime. My dad and them had, but see, they had molasses mill back in them days. They had a molasses mill right down there east of Dalton. One man coal miner, that's what his name, and Raymond Hall, the Halls was down there poking them. That's where they had that's where they had a molasses mill. And people used to have cane, we call it sugar cane. We used to cut sugar cane. You had to strip it, take a stick and strip the leaves off of it, and then you take it, and you get a piece like this, slick, and then you run it through a molasses mill. They had a thing, 2 rollers. You used to roll over, and you roll it through it. You remember that?
Yeah,
that's what they made it. The Halls had a sawmill down there too. They had a sawmill. Raymond Hall had a sawmill down there. So, and I said, if I ever get to be a man, I'll never work on no sawmill again. That's the hardest work I've ever done in my life. I was a little man. I was little. But when they had sometimes it'll be a knot on a tree, a log. It'll be a knot on a log, and when that log went through that sawmill, you had to guide that piece of coming off of it so it won't get out the end and hook back in with the saw blade. You would have break the saw blade, and you had to rush like a don't know what. You think I didn't tap dance? Boy, oh boy. And then once I got up away from that, I never did work at a sawmill no more either. Dalton Vocational School, high school, it wasn't a high school for you to go to school to be lawyers and that. It was an agricultural high school. That's what people don't misunderstand about Dalton Vocational High School. They had geometry and algebra and English and that stuff like that, but it wasn't. But the boys wasn't made to. We were raised to raise gardens, castrate hogs, castrate cows, vaccinate cows and hogs and stuff, and main thing was be able to raise a garden